Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And we're going to take a look at the new High Elf Emperor Elmesia and her AoE EX Earth nuking potential. So she is magic, she's on the Prosper team, wielder of magic, and commander. So yet again, another buff to the commander team. They have just been not destroying, but they have been buffing that team to high in hell water for the past couple of months, which is a good thing because it needed it. She uses an earth book that you can get out of the anniversary coin shop. That is, I think, the second to last weapon that has not been taken. Now it's just a water spear, which I assume will come for next meta, because I don't foresee us getting a water character this month. And if they do, well, then decisions were made, I guess. But like I said, she is an AoE Earth Nuker. She also lowers magic attack resistance by 15% for one turn, so she will end up being a support for whoever nukes on this team, preferably probably an Earth Rimuru coming. Her first skill is increases Earth and Fire characters' ult damage by 70%. Specifically Earth and Fire. So if you're a space, or you're a light, dark, this part of the skill means absolutely nothing to you. The second part is lowers all targets' ult resistance by 100%, which is a pretty big debuff. However, I don't know if I want to bring an 80-point skill for just this, right? There are other 80-point skills that will do other things, unless you're nuking with Earth and Fire. In which case, then she can be a decent support for those teams. It's just that, again, the problem with Earth and Fire is there's just not a lot of them, and not a lot of good ones. Her second skill is the HP mechanic, so for 2 turns she raises again Earth and Fire characters' max HP. She doubles it effectively, and then she also puts the Enamor effect on one enemy, and that lasts for 2 turns, and that will give you 2 turns of 15% free ult gauge at the end of the enemy's turn. So when they're done hitting you, if you have this on somebody, you will then, everyone on your team in the front line will get a free 15% ult gauge. Her Valor trait is she seals protection characters, can be useful, and then her actual trait is a 6 combo of blue, gives her extra attack, which also can be useful if you're trying to make her a nuker. So she's primarily a support, right? Raising HP, getting ult gauge for people, and then buffing. So she has the potential to be, an AoE DPS for Earth if you're going to go against a space character. Otherwise, she's going to be relegated to support. Specifically only support for Earth and Fire to really maximize her kit. But let's go ahead and test her out on her team. Okay, so all we've done is swap the EX Mirren for Elmesia. And there actually hasn't been enough time for me to really show off this team, because apart from, the Maribel and Lumi showcase, it's only been a couple of days. It's only been a couple of days. The EX2 videos aren't even up yet. They're going to go up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Because I didn't expect a new unit to come out so freaking soon that my, 2 days would be taken by, skill previews and should-use summons and then her actual showcase. There's a schedule, and I really like it when they stick to it, but that's a personal problem. So, Maribel, Guard, blue buff and all that, weakness strike, Violets for the magic buff. Bringing 2 80-point units on this team does not work as well as you want it to, unfortunately, because we are limited to 100 points on any given point, any given turn. It makes it very awkward, because 80 points pretty much takes away every single skill you can use on this team, except for Lumi's AoE skill. So, no orb changing, just one buff, and then you've got to deal with it for a while. But this Lumi, will give us some stacks of the AoE and ult damage that will stack on top of Elmesia's ult buff. Rieger is, orb changing and ult converting. Lumi is giving us that heal. We will do 2 clips of this team. We will show off the damage potential of Elmesia, and then we'll come back and we'll do the HP kind of gimmick that her and Lumi are going to work well for. So let's just go ahead and start this up, I guess. Alright, so here we are in Inferno 1 beatdown battle. We've skipped ahead to turn 2 because no one needs to see turn 1, it's just an orb change. And turn 2 is just going to be an orb change as well, but we'll use 1 stack of the AoE Lumi buff, and then because Elmesia is Earth, she will work underneath Lumi's orb chain. So we're going to bring Rieger in, and then full convert Earth and Fire. So this team is full of Earth and Fire team restrictions, which, you know, it is nice that they're giving buffs to Earth and Fire characters. It's just that I don't care about these characters. They're not really that good. So, just an unfortunate turn of events for Earth and Fire right now. They needed some help desperately, and they sent in some units, and they were recruits. They were greenhorns. They don't know what they're doing quite yet. Okay, so, this hand also looks like shit, so we're gonna have to orb change here. We're getting Super Guard, excellent, awesome. Alright, Pierce. So, Elmesia, right? She is an AoE, she has her big-time nuke skill, and I'm sure that by herself she can do decent damage, because now, instead of running Murin on the team, who is only Earth, we are running Elmesia, who is Earth, and she's a Prosper unit, which means that she will work really, really well, because she gets that extra 60% damage buff now, and that is going to be very, very impactful to how this team is going to operate. I know we didn't really do that in the best way, but we're going to get Rieger out of here, so this Lumi doesn't have guard anymore. Not that big of a deal. We're just trying to get an EX ult for Elmesia, which we have one ult for her. Awesome. So she's doing 16k a hit now with, 2 stacks of the weakness strike. That's 90% extra, and it will only go higher and higher. Wow, we're just getting terrible orb RNG. Every turn is a convert, and this Lumi took a lot of damage. Holy crap. Okay, so you're going to go away. You're going to go away for Rieger. Thank you. And he still has guard, so that's cool. So alt swap, orb change, and that's all we can do. I think this is going to be about all we can get out of this run. Alright, I'm going to turn this off until we're ready to nuke with Elmesia. So, if you watched the showcase for either Lumi or Maribel, you'll understand that this team does not run any differently than what I was running before. It's just that now we have yet another buff to take into account, which now I guess you don't really need Violet for your main source of damage support. And you can take her off and you can bring in like a green orb changer or something. Might make RNG a little bit less awful. Because you have your big damage support now with Elmesia. 100% ult resistance down, 70% ult damage up, only for Earth and Fire. So if I were to try and nuke with Octagram Lumi, Dark, or Space Violet, Space, they would not get that 70% ult damage. That would be just quite an unfortunate thing. Ult swap, and that's still don't have an orb change that we can use here. So let's go. I still want the EX ult, and we're just not going to get it. Alright, I guess we're going to start with the health pool thing, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, not quite. So I guess next turn, what we're going to do is we're going to use the HP skills. So Elmesia's double HP, and then Lumi's heal back up to full, because they're about to ult us, and we can see it in effect, at max effect. Because I'm also not ready to nuke yet. So, if we had used it earlier, we would have had that from the enamored effect. But, so, 100% max HP for Earth and Fire. Everybody here is Earth and Fire. See, now the HP bar is... it looks like they got cut in half, but now she has 57,000 HP instead of 26 something, 27,000 something. I don't know. Now we're going to use Lumi and her heal skill. So now we cannot die, and any damage we take, we will immediately heal back at the end of the turn. And the only thing we need to do here is just let it ride. And there's nothing they can really do about it, because they can't kill us. And we're just going to sit here and get the EX ult for Elmesia, maybe. No, never mind, we're not. So I think we're just going to send the Rieger and Lumi ult, and then the green orb, and just get it out. So don't care about that. 71k, sure. Lumi's AoE, 76,000. Again, not important. We're not here for them. Okay. So Yom, 14k against Elmesia. Not dead yet. Lumi, technically died, 26,000. Revived for 49,000 HP. Hakuro, didn't quite kill her again. But we heal back up to that 57,000 right? We healed 56,000 HP right there. Lumi didn't because she died. If you die and then take damage, you don't heal back up to full. It's just that you'll heal the next turn. But you can see we're now capped out at 57. This is the final turn of that HP buff. You see the little heart icon is blinking. It's going to go away next turn. So this brings up an interesting scenario. We don't have okay, we do have orbs because we got the enamor effect. So the enamor effect, right? This heart icon gave us 15% extra ult gauge. And remember, by sending that one Elmesia green orb, we didn't actually get her ult. We were then able to get it because of this effect. We actually got her EX. So, I mean, we just need some extra points and we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and send this, and then we'll watch us heal back up. Oh, we crit there, naturally. Nice. That's some extra damage. But after they're done hitting us, so, okay, 6,000. All right, they're no longer ulting. They still hit, reasonably hard. And now we have the heal. Boom. But the important thing is seeing this. We are now still at the 100% extra HP threshold, 57,000, even though our current HP maximum capacity has gone back down to its normal levels, 28.7. So for the rest of this fight on, we have an extra 100% HP to pull from. So if they hit us, I mean, it's going to look like our green bar, our HP bar doesn't even move because we have so much extra HP to play around with. And I think that is the point of this skill. Keep in mind, this has not been the way it's worked before. We've had previous units that have raised HP caps, and before now, this 57 would just go back down to 28. It would just go back to match the current full HP threshold. So this is a new thing. This is new, keeping that max HP value. And I guess it would help you in certain scenarios to survive, but remember that unless you have Lumi or maybe Octogram Romerus, like, you're never really actually going to heal back up to 200% HP, right? There's just no way. There's no other units that can reasonably do that. Like, single target healers do 45% or something. Octogram Romerus does 60% HP heal. So that can get you back up to this full massive cap. And then I guess you could start turn 8 or whatever the fuck we're on at quote-unquote double full HP. But outside of that, like, I don't see a lot of value here. We don't have enough points for that either. I guess we're just going to send the Regard Orbs. I just want to ult. Thank you. All right, 83k. So we can see how much damage Elmesia does to help herself out, because we only have enough points to use her own buff. And then I guess we'll cut and we'll make a clip when I can come back and show you off, like, what almost a full power Elmesia looks like on this team. So 100% ult resistance down, 70% ult damage up, plus another 20 that we've used from Octogram Lumi, plus I think 1 stack of the AoE buff, right? 2 stacks of the AoE buff, so 20% right there. And we'll turn this animation on now because we're ready to watch it. And we'll watch her annihilate. So the HP gimmick is it's interesting now that it works in a different way than what we previously knew. I don't remember a time needing 57,000 HP though. Even in a stacking stage, I never needed 57,000. So she does 887,000 damage, which, for one big buff and a couple small buffs here and there, that's not terrible damage. And again, her being really the only premium summonable EX Earth character that is an AoE ult, it does give her, some value, because I don't know the next time we're going to get another AoE EX Earth character. Let's see what happens when she's all juiced up, though. Okay, we are back, and because this team is not very fun to run with 2 units that have 80-point skills, one of which didn't survive, by the way. I wasn't trying to get Violet killed, but she did. We did use her skill already, though. So we have the magic buff on Elmesia. She just hasn't been up on the front line for like 3 turns, so we've missed 3 turns of Maribel stacking. So she still could be a little bit stronger, but now we can use her buff and then 1 more stack of the AoE, and that's going to put us at 360% weakness strike, which is good. 30% AoE attacks. We have the full AoE buff from Octogram Lumi. We have the 100% magic attack. We have, let's see, 60 plus 70, so we have 30% ult damage now, so we're just missing an extra 20, and then we would be capped out from Lumi, but we just don't have the skills for that, and I didn't want to drag this out anymore. And then we also have the 100% ult resistance down. So we did like 880k or something in the first clip. This is going to be much, much higher. 2.4 million. Yeah, it's a lot higher. It's just that we're on turn 10, and one of our units is dead. So, was it actually worth it? Does this team actually work? I'm tempted to actually say no. Like, this is not a team where you really want to hold buffs in the back, because you're missing very important stacks of that weakness strike, which can be pretty impactful. If you can get 45 to 90% every single turn, I mean, I don't know, man. I know weakness strike is not a super great buff to begin with, but they are impactful, and over multiple turns it does add up to even higher numbers. But, you know, as proof, we can do really high numbers with Elmesia with support, with the damage increase, and her own buff. So, I mean, a feather to her cap. She's going to be a good Magic Earth nuker, thank God. It needed it. It's just that her other skill is severely limited. Severely limited by both categories and elements, right? Because only certain categories can use Lumi's revive skill, and only certain elements can use Elmesia's HP buff. Alright, because we don't really have a lot of places to use Earth units, we're gonna put her on this kind of green-focused team with Exalted Champion Velzard, who is a generic protector. She is giving everybody every element buff for 50%. She converts all orbs to green. We're in the EX2 Tempered Edge versus Leon and Velzard, who can hit very hard unless we hit very hard back very quickly, which this team is capable of doing. So Isis and Aaron are orb changers. We've got Rimuru here for his rainbow orbs. Hopefully we can like use his rainbow and then bring Elmesia in and try and get her EX ult quickly. And then we'll have the element buff, the weakness strike buff, and then Elmesia's own skill to use. And you know, in theory, this should work out just fine. It's not like this stage has a lot of HP to contend with. It is fairly difficult among the Tempered Edge stages, but if we can burst them down quickly, then it's not really going to matter. Alright, so turn 1, we've got Aaron's orb change. We're going to take Rimuru out for Shizu. That way, hopefully, next turn we can have a lot of orbs, and then we can convert them into rainbows, and then we can bring Elmesia in and get her EX ult, hopefully quickly, or at least very close, very quickly. We do have, you know, a single ult swapper in Summer Shizu, so that's another reason why we brought her. Because we're going to have an ult quickly. Sure, that'll work. Okay. So, we have the ult gauge on green charm on Velzard. So this should get us quite a bit alongside the Isis buff. So boom, we'll bring Rimuru in for Shizu. We'll change all these to rainbows. Boom. And then we'll bring in Elmesia. And this should more than get her normal ult. I don't know about it getting her EX ult, but it will certainly give us a lot. Oh, it does get her EX ult. Never mind. I'm a liar. So I think we had to burn one more turn if we want to use both the Elmesia and Shizu buffs, because we're going to be 5 points shy? Yeah, 5 points, or... Math saved me right now. 130, 80, no, we'll be more than that. Okay. So, oh yeah, we are 5 points shy. Math did save me. Yay. Alright, we just had to burn this turn then. So, these can go away. We're just going to get those free 30 points from Velzard. Hopefully, Isis doesn't die from this Leon ult. And Frostbite, well, she might. But she's not really important. Okay, she lives. Boom. That's all that matters. Okay, so now it's turn 4. Let's bring you in, and we have enough points to use the weakness strike 60%, and then the ult buff 70%, and ult resistance down. And then we'll put the element buff from Velzard on, and this will do, you know, reasonably good damage considering the team is a lot of free-to-play units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's unfortunate we don't have any Elmesia orbs, but it is what it is. 387. Okay, well, that's okay damage. That's okay damage. I kind of actually expected a bit more out of that. Because we did have a decent amount of buffs. 60% weakness strike, 70% ult, 100% ult resistance down, 50% element buff. I expected more than 387. Okay. She can work as a nuker. Let's try and make her a support for a fire or earth unit, and then I think we can call that a showcase. Let me try and build a team. Alright, the final team of the video, a full fire or earth team, New Year's Xion, Christmas Shizu, free-to-play hero, earth or fire Benimaru, Violet, so we're going to go into EX5 Tempered Edge versus Clayman. And Violet, has the attack buff, guaranteed crit, guaranteed pierce. Xion is going to give us also guaranteed synergy. And then we've got the burn effect from Hero, Violet, and Benny. We've got the fire buff from Shizu and the pierce power buff. And then Elmesia will give Fire Violet the 70% ult damage and 100% ult resistance down. So, I mean, this, I guess, will be her... this will be her in a supporting role. Alright, so turn 1, we need Benimaru's orb change for 1, the orb change, and 2, the burn effect, so we are not hampered by anything. Violet, because she wants crit, I don't want her up front because Clayman does still put that crit nerf on. I don't really want to deal with that. So we're just going to send this turn 1. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of damage because everybody except Elmesia has type advantage. So at least we'll be a bit tankier. 3 Shizu orbs. Okay, I mean, we can make that work. So we'll bring Violet in for Shizu. Boom. We will use her own buffs. Cool. We will use Xion. Guaranteed crit, guaranteed synergy. Violet's already giving herself crit, so that doesn't really matter. We'll then give away all the orbs to Violet and get a 6-hand of her. And yeah, we'll do some extra damage here, just for funsies. Alright. So this gets her EX ult. We just now essentially need to stack up some points. And another Xion. So we're going to send Violet to the back now, and we're just going to send some random orbs for the next couple of turns until we're ready to use the Pierce buff, the 80-point buff, and the Fire buff. So you go away. We'll send these blues because that'll get us a Protector, and we're just going to build up some points. So we need 135. We need 140. I think that's enough now. So boom, boom. No, we need 5 more points. Alright, we need 150. Again, math was never my friend, and I'll never claim to be good at math. Okay, now we're ready, because we have, one more turn of the extra 30 points. Okay. Now we're good. So, Violet comes in for Benimaru. He's not really doing anything at this point. Or Hero, and Benimaru, fine. It is what it is. Hero also comes out. And now, we've got Fire buff plus Fire resistance down, the 15% Pierce power, and then the 70% ult, 100% ult resistance down. Pierce power, boom. Ult damage up, because she is a fire character. Xion will give us that extra synergy buff now, too. And maybe I should have done the other way, because then Violet would actually have an orb. But let's see how much we do. And I'm sure it'll look okay. Yeah, we can watch it. Okay, but this is the last part of the video, so I guess I'll start the outro now. Elmesia. If you have a fire team or an earth team, she can work as either your nuker or support. Violet does 530k. Yeah, it's not terrible. That's not terrible damage for an old character, not EX, not the biggest buffs in the world. There's the windscreen, so that's cool. She, you can find uses for her, but you'll notice in both of these other 2 fights, I didn't use her HP skill because it's unnecessary, right? I didn't once need more HP, nor do I have anyone on those 2 teams that could, heal us up past that into that extra 100% threshold, right? We could have used it and like, oh my god, yeah, we have an extra 27,000 HP to use. But no, we don't, because we still need someone to heal us up. So without Lumi or without another healer, her second skill becomes actually useless. And her first skill needs fire and earth characters, which you still look at it as it's a personal buff. But personal buffs, in my opinion, are cheap buffs for her only. This is not a personal buff, this is a support buff. It's 80 points, and it's buffing 2 elements, which still does not have a whole lot of good options. So you can make her look good, and she can help other people look good. It's just, it really needs some finagling on your team setup, and if you even have options that you can use. Because, I mean, you look at this front line, Guy, alright, Jean and Rimuru are, I would not consider top tier anymore. I would never have considered the Jean and Rimuru top tier. Sorry, my mistake. Megumin was good when she came out, but she's a cloud character. If you don't have her now, you're never going to get her. You look at all these characters, and you see a distinct lack of earth and fire until you get all the way down here. And we have Weird Lumi, Commander Shizu, who is also pretty limited, Idle Shuna, who needs magic to really be at full potential, and then we have bitch-ass Summer Lumi. So, it's a real hard sell, okay, guys? I tried to make her look good. You know, you can let me know in the comments what you think of Elmesia after seeing, you know, what her big mommy damage can do, and what her, you know, her weird gimmicky healing can get you double HP for the rest of the fight can look like, sure. But apart from that, man, I'm really finding it hard to give her a good team. She's on Wielder of Magic. That... no. I'd say no, because Wielder of Magic, the actual meta itself, is full of water characters. Space Shizu, Dark Ranga. No one benefits from her buff. Okay, awesome. Commander... You have Commander Hinata already doing 120% ult damage, so it outshines Elmesia's 70%. The 100% ult resistance down is cool and everything, but again, unless you're bringing Fire Shizu, no one else is going to benefit from that increased HP cap, and no one is going to, again, heal you for that increased HP, unless you bring also the new Lumi, which then requires you have Elmesia and the new Lumi, which is a big ask in a skip meta. So, I don't see it. I don't understand the gimmick. Maybe it'll make more sense when the final unit comes out and they have some kind of HP scaling skill. Sure, but until that point, I don't see it. But again, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. That's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.